I think social media is doing an immense amount of harm to everyone, but in particular young people.
We know the harms, and it is our job to put up the proper guardrails so that these kids can flourish.
What Congress should act is on the Kids Online Safety Act that would have a standard for harm.
Our children deserve protection in the virtual space, the same that they have protection in the physical space.
Teens across America facing a chilling threat, and they may not even know it. Reports of sextortion are increasing, and it's leading to families being ripped apart. Hello, I'm John Roberts in Washington, and welcome to a Wednesday afternoon. Sandra, good to see you.
Yeah, good to be with you, John. It's just hard to believe how many families this is affecting. I'm Sandra Smith in New York. This is America Reports. The news of these tragic cases continue to spread as social media use among teens soars.
According to the nation's largest child protection organization, at least 36 teenage boys have died by suicide in the past 4 years following sextortion schemes.
That brings us to the story of James Woods, a high school track and field star from Ohio with dreams of going to college, who sadly became a victim at just 17 years old. His mother appearing in front of a Senate committee yesterday.
What I would say to children is be vulnerable one more time. One more time. Yes, you may not have made the best decision. We are all that way. We make mistakes. You matter enough through your mistakes. I don't care what it is. You speak up. You say something. You stand up for yourself, because we can make sure that we have your back no matter what. I would give anything to have my son back. And if they have to learn, if they have to see James' face, if they have to see my tears, I'm going to make sure that it happens. If it means that I can save your grandchildren, I'm going to do it.
That grieving mother, Tamia Woods, is here to discuss this deeply personal issue and what she says all parents need to know.
But first, John, to congressional correspondent Bill Melugin, where lawmakers are taking notice after Australia's social media ban among children there. Hi, Bill.
Yes, Sandra, that's right. A lot of people on the Hill are talking about what Australia just did, which is banning social media for kids under the age of 16. They're the first country on the entire planet to try something like this. And we talked to bipartisan lawmakers on both sides of the aisle who sound fairly open to the idea of potentially following Australia's lead and trying the same thing here in the U.S. Take a listen.
I don't rule it out, and we'll learn from their experience. I think protecting children is an avenue that should be pursued.
I think it's a worthy discussion because it's having a corrosive influence on our society.
I think we should definitely be looking at rules of the road to make sure that our kids are safe and able to learn in school, and it's one of many ideas that are out there.
And consider this, a study released by the Pew Research Center found that 93% of American teens between the ages of 13 and 17 use social media, spending an average of 4 hours and 8 minutes on it every single day. Now, back in 2023, a report by the U.S. Surgeon General advised putting warning labels on social media platforms similar to tobacco products, because they found that children and adolescents who spend more than 3 hours a day on social media face double the risk of mental health problems. Republican Senator Marsha Blackburn was part of a bipartisan Senate hearing on protecting kids online yesterday. She says what Australia is doing is necessary because big tech isn't protecting kids and is lobbying against any action that the U.S. Congress tries to take.
We have Meta that spent $20 million lobbying against the Kids Online Safety Act. They hired a lobbyist, one lobbyist for every 6 members of Congress. They do not want to give up this revenue stream. They do not want to police their platforms. It is absolutely disgusting.
And Sandra, the odds of any social media ban coming for American kids anytime soon is likely fairly low. There's obviously going to be free speech and expression concerns, but on top of that, looking at the bigger picture, there are already several online safety bills right now that are currently stalled in Congress, one of which is KOSA, the Kids Online Safety Act that Senator Blackburn just referenced. It is stuck in political gridlock, and that is a tough pill to swallow for the mom that you and John are about to talk to. We'll send it back to you.
So important that we are covering this. Bill Melugin there on Capitol Hill for us. Thank you. John?
Yep.
All right, Sandra, here now is Tamia Woods. She is the mother of James Woods. And let me just say, Tamia, at the outset here, that the entire nation holds you in our hearts as a father of 14-year-old twins who are in the online world. I just can't imagine what you're going through. And we thank you for being with us today, and we thank you for your words yesterday in that Senate hearing.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So your son, James, 17 years old, believed that he was communicating with a teenage girl online, where he was actually communicating with two extortionists who were in the Ivory Coast. My understanding is, if I've got this right, that you were here in Washington, D.C. with him, looking at Howard University as a place that he was possibly going to go for his post-secondary education. And his phone was buzzing away with what turned out to be a total of some 200 threats from these extortionists, wanting money from him, or they were threatening to broadcast far and wide around the world photos that he had sent them. He must have been in a complete panic at that time. Were you aware that anything was wrong?
So, no, I want to correct you on a couple of things. So James was actually on a video. So it was an Instagram DM with the person, and they actually screenshotted the video when they talked him into unclothing himself. They screenshotted. James never sent a picture of himself unclothed. So that's one. And he was actually looking at Central State. But we did not see any kind of signs. We were not aware that he was actually talking to someone online. That is something that I just didn't have any red flags about at all during that time.
So you had no idea what his communication was online, no idea who he was talking to?
Not at this particular time. Tim and I, my husband and I, we actually checked his phone every now and then. But since he was becoming 17 years of age, we didn't check as often. We were teaching him how to grow, become an adult. He was going to college soon. And that was our job, is to make sure that we did so. James was a very, very good boy. He didn't have any type of things where we had to be on him all the time at 17 and a half years of age. But at this particular time, no, I did not know.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing with teenagers, is they're out there, they're exploring, they're not telling their parents everything that's going on, and then suddenly they find themselves in a whole mess of trouble. Senator John Cornyn of Texas was at that hearing yesterday. He also appeared on this program. Here's what he told us.
It's a huge problem, and it's getting worse. Congress can't keep up with new laws that it's going to keep up with technology and the ways that people use technology for nefarious purposes like this. I think we ought to look at what Australia is doing, for example, and requiring access to these social media platforms to not be available to anybody under the age of 16.
Of course, big news today is that Australia has banned social media for anyone under the age of 16. That would not have covered James, though, because he was 17 and would have had access to it. But what do you say to what Senator Cornyn is saying, is that the technology is moving so fast that it's difficult for Congress to make laws to keep up with it?
I don't think it's difficult. I think we have to put things in place. Will there always be criminals that know how to go against certain rules or go look and find a loophole? Yes, there will. But we have to take a stand. Why would we have to sit around and do nothing, no laws pass, and just let the social media and the people who use it for bad use attack our children? We have to start putting protocols in place, and I don't think that's a hard thing to do.
Yeah, well, I don't know if you heard all of Bill Melugin's report before we came on with you, but he was suggesting that these online companies have a tremendous army, if you will, of lobbyists who are fighting against any kind of restrictions that Congress might put on them, because they don't want to lose that valuable audience of people under the age of 16.
And again, I think that there are certain things that you can do to earn other ways to make money. And I don't think that our children should be number one target. Like, let's go back to giving them toys or different things of that sort. We shouldn't say, hey, our number one target, or we earn a lot of money on kids, so we refuse to take responsibilities. This is what we're doing. We have so many kids. My son is just one example of many where kids are dying based off of social media bullying, or luring them in to give them drugs or different things of that sort. Why are we using this as avenue to attack our children? I thought that children were off limits.
Yeah, I know that obviously your life was devastated by this, but you're trying to turn things around and help other folks through your Do It for James Foundation. I just want to read your mission statement here as we thank you for joining us. You say, quote, the Do It for James Foundation is a nonprofit organization that works with communities to increase awareness, provide support and education to both parents and children on crime against students, while also supplying a wide range of assistance for those in need. So if people are looking for some counsel here, some advice, go to the Do It for James Foundation. They can find it there. Tamia, again, we grieve for your loss, and we thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me again.
Hey, it's Will Kane. Click here to subscribe to the Fox News channel on YouTube. It's the best way to get our latest interviews and highlights. And click to subscribe to the Will Kane podcast for full episodes right now.